Hey guys, and welcome back to Okami. Today we're going to be trekking through the second half of the Wauku Shrine. Take it away, Rich.
Yes, so we now get to use different bits of Blizzard's power. Basically, you will see these big gaping holes with snowflakes floating all over them. Because we have Blizzard, we can create platforms and just platform across them. It's great.
Sure is frozen up in here.
Indeed, it's very much just let it go.
No!
Let it go.
No!
Oh, but Tom, for the first time in forever, I get to make Frozen references and it actually makes sense in the context.
Okay, I'll give you that one. What the fuck was that pattern, by the way, mate?
That was me trying to just... You know how when I was doing Restoration and some of the other types of Bloom...
Right.
Where I was like scribbling over the area to try and make it work better.
Okay, get to the point.
That's what I was doing there. It was just to try and make as many platforms as possible appear. It worked, therefore it was a success.
By the way, just going back to Frozen songs for a little bit, I think for the first time in forever is much better than Let It Go. Come at me, no one in particular.
I would say First Time in Forever is more musically complex. But I would say that Let It Go's got the anthem-iness behind it, and that's why it became as popular as it did. Because people do like their anthems quite a lot.
It's a fine song, don't get me wrong, I'm not being a hater or anything, but, you know, when you compare Frozen soundtrack to, say, Moana's, the winner there is clear. Moana's wins hands down.
Yeah, I would agree on that front.
It's so fucking good, mate. Oh my god.
Consider the cocoa nuts, the trunks and the leaves, the young
gives us what we need. I didn't like that song at first, but it grew on me.
I like it because it's just so bouncy and catchy. You just want to party to it. It's great.
Battle coming up here. Just had to wait for the solar flare to kick in. Thank you, Krillin. Thank you, TN.
Well, basically, blame the cannon because it caused me to waste all my ink gourds. So it was basically just like, okay, I'm just gonna wait because I don't want to wolf-foo the Dogu, because that's just a bad idea altogether.
This poor Dogu, the only strategy he has left is just to teleport around you and hope he catches you off guard.
I mean, we are all-powerful at the moment. We are only missing one weapon in the entire game, and that's the final one, and it's the most expensive weapon in the game, and you can't purchase it until after this whole trek of the game is complete, and you can only purchase it from the weapon trader in Seon City, I believe, actually.
Okay.
Or at least it's either you get it from him, or you get it in the final dungeon. So I would recommend save up, get it there, and then you can have a much easier time taking on the Demon Gate trials.
Alright, when you say final dungeon, do you mean the shrine here or the boss rush?
The boss rush, that's what I mean.
Well, call it the boss rush then, because this here Wauku Shrine is the final dungeon. Trademark.
Yeah, this is true. I know that I said that we sort of reached the halfway point at the end of the last part. The official halfway point of the dungeon is coming up in the next room, actually. You can see by the fact that we have a save room, and the fact that it says mid, that this is the middle of the dungeon. And I think you'll be quite surprised by what's about to occur.
Alright, just gotta take a stab in the dark. Whacker.
You are completely incorrect.
Wow. Well, you know, no different from usual then.
No, we have surprise boss fight!
Oh, a Tengu?
No, this is one of the twin demon gods. This is Nechku. So, Silver Demon Nechku.
Oh, I wish I had a cool boss subtitle like that.
I know. He is slightly derpy looking, but it's quite cool and quite ominous, actually.
Is he one of those bosses where his true power is kind of within, and he uses his derpy countenance to put you off guard?
Perhaps, but there's a little something else with this boss fight.
Oh! How?
Tom, we travelled back into the past. It makes sense that Shiranui can travel into the future.
Yeah, but I just never expected it.
Oh, it's just amazing.
Is he a fucking slot machine?
Yes, he's a slot machine.
Damn, man, this is fucking cool. I don't know what to say.
I just love it.
Oh, that feel when you get to have a howl off with your past self.
And so, it is now time to take on Nechku. To be fair, there is sort of very little that we can effectively do to him. We just sort of respond in terms of his attacks. It's generally pretty clear what you need to do. If he sends out the big glowy pink balls, you power slash them. If he puts an egg over his head, you bloom it. It's all pretty clear. But really what you want to be doing is getting it to that point, and then you want to let Shiranui deal most of the damage, really.
Oh god, this is a really cool concept for a boss fight, I gotta say.
As I said, this is only the mid-boss.
Oh.
And also, Shiranui will use celestial brush techniques that are very clearly more powerful than ours, which just makes it even more awesome.
Well, I mean, when you look at Shiranui against versus Ami, Shiranui is like more of a god, clearly, just for the fact that she glows like one.
Quite right, and also, look at that cherry bomb! I mean, to be fair, we couldn't really do a whole lot during that fight, because we're basically useless in comparison, but we helped. That's what is important.
I had no idea about this. I'm glad I didn't look up spoilers now. Come on, Isu, don't be petty. Finish it together. Oh, here's the brother.
Yes, that is a Lechku, and as we can see, Oki is fighting him.
Oh, yeah. Well, you tried.
And also, have you noticed all the clock motifs going on around this area?
I have, yeah.
On Lechku and Nechku, you've got the clockwork stuff going on the trees, and also the entire arena is a massive clock. It's amazing. And that's actually quite important, that they have clock-related things going on with them.
Ooh. Is that related to time travel in some way?
I mean, perhaps. But there's a little something else that is important.
Okay, Oki. Take your best shot, mate. Let's see if that sword of yours glows. I doubt it. Yeah, look. Shiranui is wielding the solar flare.
Indeed.
Oh, Zawaldo! Oh, this is so cool! Surely Shiranui's got to be able to break out of time stop. Oh, this is not going to end well. There you go. Aww.
And now, might be able to see why Shiranui could not survive the last battle with Orochi.
Jeez. Well, at least she went down fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Isun, bless you for trying, but I don't think you're big enough.
I know, it's just like, mate, you're not going to do anything.
Finally, a selfless act.
Finally he realised, I need to stop being a dick and actually help people.
Alright, so they've got off to the summit, I guess?
Well, they've gone off to the other peak.
There you go. It was by basically wanting to help others that made the sword glow, not just selfish self-indulgence and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Aww. Well, at least his arc was successful, and he's having a heel face turn now. He wasn't really a villain to begin with, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, he was sort of a rogue, shall we say. Because he was not a villain. He wasn't quite an anti-hero. He was sort of rogue rival, I suppose, is probably the way I'd want to dub it.
Nice.
And so, since Shiranui is out of action, it's up to Ami and Oki to take the fight to Twin Demons.
I'm immensely satisfied with the plot we got in this part, Jesus Christ.
I've told you there were some amazing plots coming up. Now, since we are going through a bit more dungeony after this, it's time to bring up certain bits about Lechiku and Nechiku.
Okay.
Two owl demons are, well, they're based on the owl demons passed down through Ainu traditions. Mosi Resik and Kotane Sik, and they personify the passing of time and the inevitability of all things coming to an end, as shown by the two stars of clock in their chests. In the mythology that involves them, the demons trap Amaterasu, who is then rescued by an Ainu warrior. Obviously quite fitting considering everything that has occurred. That whole thing to do with their story makes a lot of sense because their Japanese names are Moshirechiku and Kotanechiku. Basically fits all together. We've got a few other little things as well. So the fact that they're called the Gold Demon and Silver Demon may be a reference to the two Demon King brothers from Journey to the West.
Okay.
Which obviously a Chinese classic, but obviously is quite important to East Asia in general.
Yeah.
But basically, the two Demon King brothers are known as Great King Kaku and the Great King Gin Kaku. Kin means gold and Gin means silver, respectively. So that might be what that is referring to.
Yeah.
And they're also one of the bosses in the game that does not speak. One of them, other ones being Crimson Helm, and the other one being a boss that we have yet to meet.
Interesting.
And that's pretty much all I can give you for now on them, which is fine.
Would the rest be spoilers and whatnot?
Yes, the rest would indeed be spoilers.
Ooh, here's that outside bit you were talking about.
Well, we've already been outside a little bit, but this is returning outside once more.
Okay, Mr. Smartass.
And this is quite fun because we get to use cannons to blow cannons up, because that's clearly how this should all work. It's a bit slightly difficult because obviously timing.
Well, you know, you had practice with this in the Moon Cave the first time around.
I did, but if you recall, I was rubbish.
True, well, you know, you should have practiced beforehand. Not that you had anything to practice with, but, you know, it's the sentiment that counts.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I believe that you could destroy all of the cannons bar the golden one in the middle. So, that's a bit of a pain, but it's a challenge that we are just going to have to overcome. Plain and simple.
Do you have to use the cannons?
If you want to destroy those things, yes. Because otherwise you're going to get to this big gap, and you're not going to stand a bloody chance, because they're just going to fire at you all the way down.
Oh, okay, and they'll break the platforms.
Exactly, and I had a little bit of a nightmare jumping up and along here. And as you can see, this guy is firing at me all the way along, and yeah, it could have gotten nasty. But thankfully, slowing down time and power slashing, man, I could just get through. Beautiful.
Do we get an upgrade to the time stop power, by the way? Because I don't think it's really fair that, you know, the Twin Owl demons get to use the world.
Yeah, unfortunately no. Veil of Mist just has that. Its upgrade was the Fog Pot, which allowed us to warp using the Origin Mirrors.
Fair enough.
And yeah, this is a bit of an interesting one. We've got an ice ball that we can run around with, but we kind of need to get it inside first. Easy said than done, obviously.
Tengu's aren't that much of a problem, mate. Just take him to town with the Thunder Edge. Sorry, Solar Flare. I'm getting my weapons mixed up here.
Well, don't worry. When we go through the Demon Gate trials, I will be using all three of the top tier weapons, because different weapons suit different enemy combinations. So I decided, you know, I'm going to try and use all three just to have a little bit of variety, and also because it makes sense.
Alright, let's roll this sucker indoors. Richie. Why?
I know. Just don't even get me started.
Well, that was fairly painless. And at least it's on, like, a slope.
You say it's on a slope. It stopped in the bloody doorway. But thankfully, once we get it into here, it's okay. Because I think if it falls off, it's just going to plop itself right back down onto the... Yeah, there we go. It's just going to plop itself back down, and it's all fine. But the reason that you need to bring this in is because this is the only way that you're going to stand an easy chance of freezing these things. And, yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one.
There you go.
Because, yeah, you've got... That is your only way of getting across this room. You could use, Blizzard's other thing, like the drawing the snowflake, but that uses up so much ink that really, no, don't do that.
Well, couldn't you use an Inkfinity Stone?
I mean, yes, you could do, but also it's so finicky to draw. Why would you?
Fair enough.
But yes, we are very, very, very quickly coming up to the end of this dungeon. Like, the second half of it is a lot shorter than the first half. I think because what they want to... At this point, they want you to sort of surge towards the finale.
Yeah.
And so it just makes sense, and also that was just a dick move game.
No, you should look where you're jumping, mate. Don't blame the game.
But it looked like I was fine.
Ooh, it looked like I was fine. Look at me, I'm ex-gamer Richie, playing one of the best games of all time.
Well, at least you agree with that statement.
What can I say, mate? I have been humbled. I don't know why. Richie, you know what? Fuck it. I was gonna say, oh, why did I wait so long to play for Okami? And you bring me bullshit like this.
Yeah, I can't defend my jumping abilities there. That was pretty awful, but the game is freaking glorious.
One of these days, someone's gonna tune in and think I'm actually being an asshole when I'm just exaggerating.
Oh, don't worry. They'll think I'm then incredibly easily offended. So they'll think both of us are completely nuts. So
Well, as long as we're both to blame, I can deal with that. Share the shame, share the load. So what, is this just a side room, or is there an actual exit?
There is an actual exit, and this is going to lead us into our final save area before the dungeon ends.
The boss antechamber, if you will.
Effectively, yes.
Nice.
I think we might actually be... Well, I don't know whether we'll actually see many more lockjaws. That might be the last one, perhaps.
Even here, yes, even here, capitalism reigns.
To be fair, it's not that easy to get out from here, so it makes sense that they thought they would just shove things in here. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy they placed it here because you may need the help, because you may not be used to how the bosses are going to fight, but we're just going to take them down, and it will be glorious.
I'm glad the next part's a little bit short, honestly, because I think the hype from this one drained me a little bit. Oh boy, jeez.
Well, hopefully the hype in the next part will carry you through the entire time. Because there's so much hype.
Perplexing, intriguing, and fascinating. We'll see you next time for another part of Okami. Bye for now.